Hello everybody, this is City Scrapper. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I have a scrapbook layout process video for you, and for me this is kind of an experiment. I'm using a cut file as a stencil. I started by cutting out this Paige Evans cut file on my Cameo, my Silhouette Cameo 3, and it wasn't cutting super great, but it cut out the cut file well enough that I could go ahead and use it as a stencil as I had planned. And I use some craft tack to attach it down to my paper. Craft tack is just sheets of a light adhesive, little adhesive dots, and it's great for holding things in place temporarily. I think ThermoWeb makes a similar product, but I've never used ThermoWeb's product. So now I'm just covering up the whole stencil with some Vicki Boutin modeling paste and just going around and trying to put an even coat on top of the cut file. Now that I have spread all the modeling paste, I'm pulling off the cut file, and down in that left corner there were some little miscuts with the cut file, but it worked out just fine. Now I'm using some watercolor sprays to color the cut file, and it looks really messy for a while, but you'll see later on it turns out fine. The colors that I'm using are the Prima Color Bloom 2 sprays, and I used 3 of those, the yellow, the pink color, and the green color, and I will put all the color names in the description box. And I also use one Tattered Angel spray over there on the left. That bluish color is Tattered Angel's Glimmer Mist. And my thought was just to put 4 kind of loose rows of color across the modeling paste. And here I'm just spraying and using my paintbrush to spread the color around. And I got the colors from a pattern paper collection that I'm going to be using. I used the Simple Stories Sunshine and Blue Skies collection, so I was looking at those colors to figure out which colors I wanted to use on the background. If I could change anything about this layout, I think I would have gone with more summery colors. I like the yellow and the pink, but even the yellow and the pink, I think I would have used a lighter version of both of those. And if I was going to use green and blue, I also would have used a lighter version of those as well, just because I feel like these colors don't read summer like immediately. I feel like they're beautiful colors, but that's the one thing I would change. I might make it a little bit lighter. But I do really like this technique, and I definitely would want to use this again, so I thought I would share the layout with you. Now I'm going back and I am using some water and just sprinkling it on my layout and using a paper towel to dab up some of the color. And I like the way, along with the texture from the modeling paste, it just adds a lot of interest to the background. It just looks kind of cool. And you're going to see the biggest difference in how it looks with the splatters in the darker colors. And I do end up taking up a little bit too much of the yellow. So in a few seconds here, I'm going to go back in with my spray bottle, and I'm just going to put some of the color, there we go, back into the layout. And once everything is dry, I'm just trying out that piece that goes over the top. That's from the cut file. That's the part that didn't cut. And I realized I had to just extend the blue color down a little bit. And I'm just going back and adding a little bit of darker color in on a couple of areas. And now that everything is dry and the color is set, I'm putting some white splatters in the background, and I use watered down white acrylic paint to make the splatters. And I mention this in a lot of my videos. I keep the white acrylic paint that's watered down and keep it pre-mixed in that little bottle that you see there. I got that, I think, from the dollar store, or I'm not really sure, but I just got an empty spray bottle and I keep it in there so that I can add lots and lots of white splatters, because I love adding white splatters to backgrounds. So now that I've added the white splatters, I'm drying everything, and I'm going to attach this piece of white paper down over the modeling paste, and since the cut file was cut from this, it fits perfectly over the modeling paste. And now that that's done, I'm going back in with some of the pieces that, you know, the insides of the letters that will make the word summer more readable. And then that piece of paper right there, that was from the Prima, I'm going to probably butcher this, Saint Tropez collection. And it's a really beautiful collection. I decided to use a very light wave design just to be subtle, just so that I would have a pattern paper on the background. It wouldn't just be plain cardstock, but it wouldn't compete with the title, the modeling paste title. So now just gluing down some of those little pieces. And then there were also those same pieces, the inside from the pattern paper. And I just made that using I think an internal offset. And I'm no expert on using the Silhouette Cameo, but I do use the offset button a lot. And it does help to, you know, make a little border on your layouts. And I like having borders because I feel like it helps to improve the contrast. So I'm trying to figure out what pattern paper I want to use. I end up using a little strip of paper from the My Mind's Eye Tutti Frutti collection, but that'll be in a few moments. Right now I'm using some of the DecoArt metallic lustre in white frost, and I just wanted to add a little something to the background, make it a little shiny, and also kind of tone down the color just a little bit. And I always use a finger to spread this around. I know that you could use other tools, but it's just easiest for me. And I do use this very often, the white frost metallic lustre. Now I'm cutting out my pictures. I decided to go with some round pictures, and I thought 3 pictures would fit nicely on the layout. So I just punched out some circles with a circle punch, and I'm using my Creative Memories, these old Creative Memories circle cutting tools. I still use those all the time, and I love them. I think they're great. I love Creative Memories, made some fantastic tools, and I'm still using a lot of them. Now I'm just adding some of the chipboard and die cuts from the Simple Stories Sunshine and Blue Skies collection. And I don't do too much as far as embellishments on this layout. I really just add a couple of things, the chipboard words that say fun, and those flower clusters. The layout pretty much stays the same way. I do at the end, the very, very end, after the layout was done for a while, I took that cluster that's on the right, the lower picture on the right, and I moved that cluster to the bottom of the picture. You'll see that in the close-ups. And now I'm just adding some little phrases that say sun-kissed, summer adventures, and stay cool down next to the palm tree. And I do attach everything down with some ATG adhesive. I don't do that on camera just because I don't think that that's something that, you know, everyone would like to watch. But I do glue everything down once I'm sure it's where I want it to be. Now I'm adding some enamel dots, and I add enamel dots in yellow and blue and green, and I just use little clusters of enamel dots. Here I'm switching out the sun. The other sun was a journaling spot. It had places to write some journaling, and when I'm scrapbooking a vacation, I have separate pages that I have my journaling on. I keep a little log of what we do while we're on vacation, and I type that up and I embellish those pages and put them in 8.5 by 11-inch page protectors so I don't journal right on the page when it's for a vacation. So here I am putting on some enamel dots in the same colors as the sprays that were used. And sorry, it's a little bit off camera down at the bottom, but I have some shiny sunglasses that I use, and that completes my layout. Thank you so much for watching. I want to say thank you to my current subscribers and to anyone who's watching. I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I hope everybody has a fantastic day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.